And while I have a little bit of battery power and SD card left in my Osmo pocket, we are heading back to the drum SS228. Got a couple models here we'll take a look at. I'm sure that's the 1/72nd scale Gato, which reminds me exactly why I don't own it. That thing is way too big. What do you do with something like that? Actually, I can't say that. Actually, looking at it makes me want one. The 1/72nd scale U-boat compared to the 1/72nd scale Gato, and then this beast up here, the 1/72nd scale Japanese C3 with the Kaitens aboard. A Lindbergh kit, not great. I still wish I had it, I have to admit. And I was wrong about this one. I thought this was the 72nd scale Gato. This must be a museum model in a bigger scale. Maybe, I don't know. Any ideas what scale? A replica of the Hunley. Not poorly done, but we're kind of spoiled now that we've been to the real. And here's my reason for this museum. USS Drum. Like I said, they took it out of the water. They have it sitting high and dry, kind of like the Fatfish and Muskogee. But I really like the fact that they've done this because we can see the running gear. You can see the aft torpedo tubes. You can actually make out the size of the boat, which you can't when they're sitting in the water. Here's what I was saying about getting a better view of the boat. So we enter on the starboard aft quarter, tour entrance. Looks like they've got the ladder closed up to get onto the fighting bridge. Judging by the shape of the periscope shears, she was a Vallejo class. Look at there, we have another set of twin 20mm Oerlikons there on the cigarette deck. Yeah. We have this aft radar mount, and then our twin periscope shears, and then the cut down sail. We have a single 40 up front, and then our main deck armament here. So we'll start from the bow. Forward torpedo room. Looks like we have one of the tubes open up there. 21 inches around. Mark 14 torpedoes. Kind of wide open up here. Remember, in real conditions we'd have a lot more torpedoes up here, and let alone the racks. They put lockers, and those would all be racks. This would all be sleeping.
Whoa, awesome!
Remember, all the torpedo men would be sleeping up here in their torpedo room. Our watertight door leading aft from the forward torpedo room. We have our sounding equipment going through the hull, and our head officer's washroom. So we're going to go through this. Looks like they've cut our safety bar off. The galley, officer's two-man stateroom, down so we can see it.
Yep.
You better like each other.
That'll be our wardroom. Yep, wardroom.
Probably 3 in there.
USS Drum, wardroom.
Yeah. These people are fighting for the country, and that's all they're supposed to. I don't know how to get that.
It's kind of crowded, so we'll just take our space, our time. Below this compartment is a space where 126 storage battery cells are installed. The aft entrance for the wardroom with some good period stuff. I think the drum served up until 67, hence the picture of Kennedy in there.
It smells like leg. I'm getting
Gold dolphins in our diesel boat patrol pin. Command at sea pin right here, so this would have been the captain.
Wait, hold on.
And an officer's 3-man. Chief Petty Officer's berthing. So they still had it better than a lot. You know, chiefs make the Navy go around. The drum carried a crew of 65 enlisted and 7 officers, so less than 90 people on board. Conditions were hot and humid, and that is true. Control room, for lack of a... we're crowded. We have 2 control wheels. Our Christmas tree. And what is listed as their hydraulic manifold. Opening of these vents allowed the ballast tanks to fill and be blown. We have bow buoyancy. Vents, vent. Our alarm panels. Collision alarm. General quarters. Diving alarm. So pull, 2 over, Aruga, repeat twice, dive, Aruga. I've never seen the drum so crowded. I like it though. That means people are interested in the submarine. The more people that are interested in it, the longer it'll stay around.
It's closed right now, but yeah, you could climb it.
I said, here's the button.
Yeah, some big wheels, huh?
Working our way aft. We go from the control room to our second watertight door into cruise mess. We have our galley and our cruise mess. Not nearly as crowded as we'd really be because our tables are all missing. And our coffee pot's missing. What the heck is this all about? We need to get a coffee pot in here. Cruise berthing. Again, way too much room. We'll never have that much room. Not just sandals, but depth charge sandals issued to submariners going on World War II patrols to make sure that you're not making any noise when you're rigging ship for silent running. Now, silent running for the most part, you're not moving at all. You're staying where you are, or you're in the rack if you've got a rack, and you're not doing anything. This is the most empty I've had it since I've been here. I can actually look sans people all the way forward into the control room through that watertight door. Crew's mess here into the galley. Swing around, crew's berthing, and we'll continue aft. We'll see how this video comes because it was so crowded. It's just going to be a chopped up video. We have the starboard head, ship's laundry, through another watertight door. Into auxiliary machinery, air intakes, there's a forward engine room. These two 1600 horsepower Fairbanks Morse diesel engines are used when the submarine is on the surface, operate electric generators which in turn drive the main motors which provide power to ship's propeller. Now remember, a diesel boat, the diesel engines are there to charge the batteries that make the ship go, at least underwater. On the surface, the diesel engines can actually propel the ship, but obviously they can't run the diesel unless you're sucking air from somewhere. Here's another great example of a watertight door. They've cut all these doors for some reason. This should come all the way across, because in a hurry what you're going to do is grab that bar and swing through. Any submariner would hit this and they'd have a heck of a time with this watertight door. The little window is not called a little window in the door, it's called a deadlight. The saying in the submarines was that they were made for, if this compartment was flooded, you'd be able to see your shipmates floating on the other side dead, hence the term deadlight. If that's true or not, I don't know, but that is what they are called. And we will continue aft. Aft engine room. We have a cutaway on this diesel, which is nice. You can see the cylinders and everything. Engine air intake silencer. There's almost more room back here than the rest of the submarine. Here's another one of these watertight doors. Locked open position. Not only locked, but he ain't shutting it. And again, cut off. I guess not a bad thing for a tour boat. So this is going to be our electrical room, your generators. Probably back here we're going to have a control panel. Yeah, look at there. How'd I know? So this is where your engineman is going to sit and monitor all these gauges, controlling them, coming down, off, battery bus, latch release, serial 1 and 2. So the technical term, maneuvering room. You know, in the maneuvering room, aptly named because there's a lot of room to get around in it. That's humor, by the way. This is the motor control room for the main electrical distribution center. As you enter, make your turn to the right, the big motors above the deck called motor generators, or MG sets. One end is a DC motor, the other end is an AC generator. These are used to supply 120 volts AC. Some of the equipment requires AC electricity like in your house. There are 4 main motors under the deck, 2 each per propeller shaft through a reduction gear. At the aft end is the control for the generators and the motor. The sticks control where the electricity is coming from and going to. The wheels control speed or voltage. In the corner was another head for the crew until the second patrol, then it was removed. Some of the gauges: reduction gear, lube oil sump tank number 2, reduction gear, lube oil sump tank number 1. You figure that the reduction gears have to be very well lubricated. Electrical tachometer showing the RPM of the engine, and then your amps and volts. This is interesting, reminiscent of the old sailing ships. The engine order telegraph, full, standard, and flank, and then stop and all your orders in between. And our last compartment, our aft torpedo room. Again, way too much room. It sounds funny, but it's true. There's our signal ejector here, and then our 4 aft torpedo tubes. Beautiful, beautiful colors. They did a good job preserving those. And more racks and several more torpedoes. Remember, torpedoes would actually be coming out into this area that we're on. It is, they are moved in, so there'd be additional racks here.
Sit down. Bye.
And the forward bullnose of the drama. Oh, look at the MiG-15 over there. Probably another one of those Hurricane Katrina casualties. And we have a deuce and a half. And back behind here is that Panther that we looked at earlier. Looking aft on the deck of the drum. We'll do a slow walk to the very aft deck and then down ladder. Here dead ahead we have our sounding gear. Our main armament again. Our single 40 up there on the forward cigarette deck. Periscope shears and your lookout stands port and starboard. If we had antenna rigged, the antenna would come out to here and then come to these 2 ceramic conductors here and here, but we don't have an antenna rigged. We have dry storage for the magazines. And we'll continue aft. Notice the switch in the deck from steel and then the teak on up further and further forward. This SR-71 As you can tell, they theirs is basically roped off, so you can't get up underneath, you can't touch it. There's that same white tri-landing gear. They must have been a special type of rubber to stand the heat of the aircraft's altitude and landing and everything. I have to read about the special tires on the SR-71. Over here, and we have a F-16, an F-15, an F-14, the old Tomcat. They got a pretty Tomcat. It's very well done. Even has some armament hanging underneath. And way over here, last but not least, we have the UH-60, the Seahawk. Normally a Black Hawk, and this would be the Seahawk. Different sensors rigged out for anti-submarine warfare. We looked at the Pave Low when we were at the Aviation Museum. This would be the similar airframe, totally different mission. Note how the rear tail folds up for shipboard storage. Horizontal stabilizers fold up, and then the vertical stabilizer folds. Not sure if that is a capability that all the UH-60 fleet has, or if it's specific to the Seahawk. And with that, and the dead battery in the Osmo Pocket, we are heading back to the car. The trick is going to be to find this nondescript white Toyota in this massive parking lot. That will be interesting. I think I can do it though. So, for the Tour Eclectic, until next time that we tour again, signing off.